Hi, my name is Yana. I do wealth management. Thank you very much for the invite, Asif and Bernie. It was amazing experience.
Having a certain image, portraying a certain image, actually positions you in society in a certain manner.
We think that people are very secluded and private and they don't want to disclose certain things, but people love to talk about themselves.
Zeros are on both sides. It has to be before one or it can be after one.
The first thing that you should think of is creation of wealth, not management of wealth.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Big Bus. Today we have Mr. Asim here and Yana who's joining us in today's podcast.
Most of the times I'm always here.
So what are we going to discuss today?
Yes, Yana. So Yana and I met because she has an extensive background in wealth management. So we were discussing the possibilities of wealth creation and wealth management, and it goes hand in hand with real estate. So something very intriguing came out, and we wanted to take this opportunity and share all the kind discussions, all the nice discussions, very important with our client base. So Yana, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Depends on how this podcast goes.
I agree.
Okay, so starting with my first question. You go and meet a lot of clients. Wealth is we think, a very, very high-end product when you offer it to your clients. How important is the first impression, in your opinion, when you go and meet clients from both aspects, from wealth manager's aspect and from the aspect of a client that comes to see a wealth manager?
Well, first of all, we do not sell wealth product. It's more that we provide, as wealth managers and bankers, a solution for wealth creation and wealth management. It's indeed important to have good first impression, to give good first impression on the client or potential prospect. For every wealth professional or wealth management consultant or professional, it's very important to have the same level of understanding as the prospect has. It's important to have basics of professionalism. You need to look neat and tidy always. You need to have a certain background of the client, knowledge about the client or prospect. If you know whom you're meeting, that's where you will
background study of the client's profile.
Of course. So before you go for a meeting, you prepare for that meeting, ideally, when you know whom you're meeting, right? From the prospect or client point of view, I do not meet many wealthy individuals or families that really care about how they impress the bankers or the
But they're
wealth
already
managers.
there. They don't need to impress anybody.
They have made it in life, so they really don't care. And one thing I can tell you that though it's very important to have a first impression, indeed, they say there is no second chance to, give first impression.
It's like you giving an elevator pitch to someone. If you arrive late for a meeting, if you're not prepared for the meeting, if you're not in the right frame of mind, you haven't had a nice sleep, you are not mentally there 100%. So that would ultimately result in you portraying an image of yourself which is not the actual image. And that at times can result in you not getting the desired results from that meeting. Do you agree?
True, but maybe that's who you are. Maybe if you will wake up and go
15
all
minutes
prepared,
away.
maybe that's where
That's who you are.
Maybe yes, maybe not. It depends. I agree with you when you're meeting for the first time and it's a serious meeting and discussion. You need to be on time and you need to be prepared. However, there is always a way to, build a conversation, a relationship with people, even when you're late, or even when you didn't have a chance to have this first impression. However, from the client's point of view, from the banker's point of view, I've seen many occasions where you meet a person and you do not really think that this is a wealthy individual, with the way they're dressed, with the way they behave, with the way they speak. If you see them or meet them on the street, never ever you will think that these people actually are wealthy.
So they downplay their wealth?
Some of them downplaying their wealth because in some cultures it's not good to show that you have money. Yeah. But some of them actually do not care.
And do you think this is more related to the generational wealth?
I
Like
think
if you're a second generation or a third generation, you have been born into wealth. So you don't have to portray that like in your face kind of way.
I think it's related more to cultural aspect of it, not only generations, but for instance in Europe, it's considered to be moventon to demonstrate how wealthy you are, to wear expensive watches, to wear expensive clothes in public without an occasion, where in the Middle East it's considered to be normal, right? So I think it's both.
And I have a theory about it, if you allow me to, and I've shared it with Bernie as well. If you are talking about anywhere you lived for 15, 20, 25 years in your own country, then people know you, people know your family, people know probably a couple of generations. So you have a circle of people that you interact with, and that circle grows by 5 to 10% on an annual basis. So you pretty much are very comfortable in your skin around them. When people come to Dubai, everybody is, we were just talking about that 88 to 92% are expats. So everybody comes from different part of the planet and they are here, and then you do not know the background of that person. So having a certain image, portraying a certain image, actually positions you in society in a certain manner. Do you agree?
I agree, but that also pulls...
At times it's false.
Correct. At times it's quite artificial, and things that people demonstrate are not the reality. I've come across many situations in life where, let's say, I meet a person and they would like to, have an account open, and they ask for a certain advice, and they portray themselves as somebody that they are not. But over here comes the expertise of the person. I'm sure you experience the same in real estate, where you have to understand if the person is talking truth or no, and if the funds and money and wealth that they are trying to portray is genuine or no.
Are actually there, or they just...
Exactly, because at the end of the day, we are in the field that requires enhanced due diligence, because it's not only the reputational risk for both of us, but also...
It's a wastage of time as well.
Of course, it's
time
a waste
and
of
effort
time.
and energy. So you put your energy, you put your time, you put your efforts into something, and then you make a whole plan, and then when you're discussing that plan with that individual, you come to realize. So what are the key pointers, if you have to share with me and probably educate me as well? What are the key pointers that you would say, okay, this is a red flag, this is a red flag, this is a red flag?
So you mean to say red flag for
if, for example,
to be
I
genuine,
come
or?
across and you say, okay, I want to have this portfolio developed, made, investments and everything. So how would you, what are the basic touch points for evaluation a person?
So first, I think it's important to understand the background of the person, to understand where they are coming from. The funny part is usually we think that people are very secluded and private and they don't want to disclose certain things, but people love to talk about themselves. When you ask a person, tell me about yourself, this is their benefice, so they love to talk about themselves. So you let the person to talk, to tell you about their backgrounds, what they are doing, what is their business, how they have reached this stage and where they started from. And through this conversation, you can figure out certain red flags. For instance, if a person is, let's say, 23 years old and 25 years old, and he has, declared a wealth of, I don't know, $5-10 million, then at least you need to connect A to B, when he graduated the university, or if he did at all.
Maybe he was a dropout and he was a
maybe
Bitcoin billionaire.
Maybe he made money on the Bitcoin, or maybe he made money on the pandemic selling masks. You never know. But
you need to connect the dots.
Correct. You need to connect the dots. That's the first thing I think that one should do. The appearance, like watches and Rolexes and APs and all these luxury items are so easy to obtain now, so they do not really give you the actual indication.
Somebody was wearing a 1918 some antique watch, I would say, or a family heirloom. I would give it more consideration.
I agree with you. People that value certain,
emotional attachments to things, and then I had friends who were wearing really, really old Rolexes, not very flashy, very basic, but they were handed down to them by their fathers or their grandfathers, or it came from within the family. So that carries a lot more weightage for me.
I completely agree with you.
So, coming back to this, what is the one common myth about your profession that people perceive?
That was me.
Okay. So let me ask this again. So what is the one common myth that people perceive about your profession?
You mean to say
about your industry, about the nature of the job that you're in? What's the one common myth? Like, I'll give you an example. Real estate, everybody thinks, oh, I'm going to join real estate. Dubai's real estate market is very hot. It's selling like anything. And I'm going to just join, and within months, I'll become a millionaire. Where I remember a quote by Jack Ma. He said, if you want to start something now and you want to be very successful by tomorrow, it will not happen. If you want to be very successful in 1 year, trust me, it will not happen. If you want to achieve a certain amount of success in 10 years, that's a credible plan.
I agree, but that's related to Korea, I think. The most common myth about the profession or wealth management is that you actually need to have a lot of money to be able to manage your wealth. This is the common myth, I think. So anybody that has any type of income can have his own wealth management. However, in different scales, so every individual, depending on their own necessities and wallet size.
What's the one common myth? Like, when I interact with you and you introduce me, like for example, I'm from real estate. Every time I go and meet people, the first question I get asked is that common myth, you must be doing very well. You must be making millions. So that's one common myth about my profession. So what's the one common myth about your profession that you have heard comments, have questions, people have questioned you about that? Or
I think the common myth is that everybody thinks that like private bankers or wealth managers are just sitting, in private jets, flying around the globe with their clients, going for wining and dining and all these luxury events and gatherings, and that's all they do. Nobody actually goes deep into the details, understanding what actually wealth management is. So this, I think, would be the common myth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the reason I actually called you for the podcast today is you're one of the few people I've met, and when we were discussing wealth, you were also very focused on wealth creation and not just wealth management. So you very rightly pointed out that when anybody, whatever amount of money they're making and they have disposable income coming in, they should start with wealth creation. So you are, I think, one of the few people who help individuals in the process of wealth creation. Correct me if I'm wrong.
So wealth management and wealth creation go hand in hand, because in order to manage wealth, you need to create it first. And indeed, the essential part of wealth creation is your own finance management and skills to have, to manage your own budget and finance, indeed. So we do help clients and people to manage their wealth and to create wealth and to preserve wealth further. When you're at the stage of your life that you're in the middle age and you're just starting a family, etc., the first thing that you should think of is creation of wealth, not management of wealth, because you have a family, you need to create sustainable environment for your kids, etc., if you want to pass it on to generations. There are other things as well that people now are very much liking, and it's trendy, where they don't leave anything for their kids, let's say. They give everything to the charity. So those kids, they need to start creating wealth as well. So I know that real estate is one of the
aspects of
and very important asset class for wealth creation and wealth management, and in the basket of assets that one should have, real estate actually should be in, and at least, if not 50%, then 20% of your wealth should be in real estate. So
Joe, I'll take a lead from your last answer. You said that people in the middle age. Define middle age.
So middle age used to be, I think, anywhere from 25 to...
Middle age used to be 25.
I think so, no? Before. At least in the country I come from, when you're like 27, sorry, not 25, but maybe 27 and above, was considered already middle age. And then till, I think, the age of 45. Now, I think that the range moved up a bit, given the speed of life, etc. So I think, around 35 and above, maybe till the age of 60.
60 is middle age.
I think so. I think that's where we are.
That's very optimistic on your part.
Well,
the earlier the better for wealth creation. But do you think helping somebody creating wealth is a more tedious process than actually helping them in managing wealth? But creation starts from zero. So anything that's starting from zero will require a lot more inertia, a lot more force, so that it goes from point A to point B. And wealth management is more of like a autopilot kind of thing once you set a few parameters. That's a concept that people have.
I agree with you, and it's obviously more difficult to, to have first part.
To put in place the fundamental blocks.
Yes, but it requires, I would say, more patience.
Exactly.
The first stage requires more patience and dedication and commitment rather than the second part. There are a lot of solutions available in the current environment for wealth management. There are so many providers, so many banks, so many different ways of wealth management. And also there are a lot of instruments for wealth creation, but there is no focus on that. The focus is on wealth management because this is easy money for everybody. Wealth is there, you just need to manage it. So you just need, an instrument that takes it from bucket A to bucket B. Where in wealth creation, it's quite more advanced and detailed process.
You have to actually procure a bucket in which to play
Correct.
the role. Okay, so what made you choose this career?
That's actually a very interesting question. I've been in banking for quite some time. I started as a corporate banker, and I moved to the wealth management from the corporate bank more than, I think, 10 years ago. So it was just an indication from, I think, the environment I was in, and I saw the requirement and niche where me being Russian speaker, I had a competitive advantage in that space in Dubai. That's how I decided to pursue that career.
And you're always fascinated by numbers?
I like numbers. I'm fascinated by, I would say, not numbers, but the process
of creating those numbers?
Of
increasing those numbers?
Of increasing that numbers. It's some kind of dopamine that you get. So everybody
from
has
seeing the numbers multiply and the
grow.
zeros increase, zeros grow?
True.
Okay, so today if you look back and when you started this, if there was one advice that you had to give to your younger self, what would that be?
One advice I would give to myself is go...
Not saying that you're not young, but a much more younger self.
That's why I made sure that the middle age falls into that bracket.
Thank you for including all of us in the bracket.
Exactly. So... The advice that I would give to my younger self is to go there where the fear is. So not to be scared, not to be risk averse, not to be frightened by potential unseen, unknown obstacles. Our brain creates a lot of obstacles and
in our head.
Conditions. Yeah. So why? Because the brain is used to certain paths and traits.
I think a lot of us from the places that we come, from a very early age, we have been programmed to fear. If you don't perform good, you will not pass, you will not get good jobs. If you don't do this, if you don't eat right, you will not grow up to be a healthy person. So there are a lot of fears that has been instilled into us rather than a positive reinforcement, and those negative reinforcements continue with our life over a sustainable period of time, and even in our professional life, when we are there, those fears keep on haunting us unless you actually take the bull by the horn and say, okay, I'm going to go do this. It's a challenge and I accept that challenge wholeheartedly.
True, I completely agree with you. So that's the advice that I would give. What about you? What advice would you give to yourself and to young professionals that are in the real estate space now trying to make it and, being fascinated by all these zeros that real estate industry provides as potential income?
Zeros are on both sides. It has to be before one or it can be after one. So you have to figure out where the zeros land, and those zeros are dependent primarily on the focus and discipline that you have, the grit. It's a day in day out process. get up in the morning, you're very passionate about what you do. I'm in the process of not selling real estate. I am an industry which is supposed to provide solutions to people. So I'm a solution provider. I believe I'm an ardent believer of this fact. I'm a solution provider. People come to me with a specific set of problems, a specific set of requirements, and I dissect it. I need to understand what they want, what they need, and then propose credible, viable solutions. Be it an investment, be it they want to live somewhere, they want to have a business setup, they want to increase their portfolios, whatever it is, it's a customized solution that I offer to people. If you're very passionate about that, then the zeros will fall on this side of and it's a day in, day out game. It's not like a one time or 1 month I'm very passionate and the second month the passion goes out of the window. You have to, whether I close a deal on a day, I make millions, I follow the same routine.
But how do you keep yourself motivated? Because at times that, in the industry of sales, you don't achieve things that you expect to achieve, and then you can get demotivated. It's okay. Isn't it okay to have that routine on every, daily, day to day? Because you tend to overwork yourself, and you tend to put too much pressure on yourself.
Exactly, but then you're working. If you're enjoying your work, if you enjoy your life, if you actually have satisfaction from this, then you'll not feel tired. Then you'll say, wow, it's another day, it's another opportunity for me to go out, help my clients, help people, make a change, a credible change. You have a team surrounding you. You are an average of 5 people that you meet every day, right? So don't you have this responsibility as a person to bring some betterment in their life, your team, the people that surround you? How you're going to do that? By being demotivated. So every day it's another opportunity to go out and improve upon yourself. So I'm in competition with myself from yesterday, and I am not in competition with anybody else. And I have to become a better version of myself every passing day. That's what keeps me motivated.
That's actually amazing way to look at the competition. I want to ask you one more thing, if you allow.
Always.
So there are so many real estate companies, agents, and professionals in Dubai, and currently with the market growing, everybody wants to get into the space. So when you're a person that is looking for a house, or you want to buy a property for investments, or you have different type of requirement, it can be anything. How do you figure out the right person? There are so many providers. What are maybe 2-3 things? 2 probably is very humble, but maybe 3-5 things that one should look at, or maybe ask questions or pay attention to, and identify if that's the right, real estate agent or the company or the provider.
Very, very interesting question. It requires it's a very simple answer for me. I tell people the amount that you're going to invest in searching for a property. People, before buying, they go on Google, they go on Property Finder, Bayou, Dubizzle, they will do the research on their own. I ask them, please, the first thing you need to do is to at least do half of that amount of research on that person that you're going to work with. Because that person is going to help you, not now, but throughout your wealth creation and that creation and generation process, the real estate portfolio that you're going to develop, this person is going to help you. So actually, the amount of time that you're investing in finding out a project, at least invest half of time in investing in finding out who that person is. Talk to them. See if they are actually interested in listening to you, finding out what you want, what you require. If, for example, you're my client and you say, Asim, I want to build a home for myself, then you call the shots. Whether it's a community which has golf courses that you are interested in, whether you would like to live by the sea, whatever your requirements are, then you call the shots. But if it is an investment that you're going to make, then you have to listen to me and I call the shots. If that mental frequency is matched, if I am genuinely taking notes as a real estate professional and not just shoving, oh, this is the new property, this is the new launch, please buy it, please buy it, please buy it. No, I need to understand what are your requirements, whether you need rental yield or a capital gain, whether you are in the age of you are starting your real estate portfolio and you say, I have some amount of disposable income every year and I want to invest in a future. So that means you're more prone towards an off-plan project. But if you are in the retirement age and you say, okay, I need kitchen money or disposable income every month, then you're looking for more towards a credible rental yield. Or it can be a mix of both. So there's so many touch points. It's basically you interacting with a person and seeing if that is the right fit.
That's interesting, but then you would agree a lot of investors, they don't really have that much time to interact so much with different individuals. So
We're all on social media.
True.
The reason why we are here and why we started doing this was to share our knowledge base with people,
Experience, yeah.
our experiences. We started this journey in 2012, and all this digital presence that we have right now, everybody is on social media. So when you are on social media and people are now still shying away from being on social media, I would say go ahead, share your knowledge base. So people will see you. People will think, yes, this is a person that I can probably relate to. This is a person I think will help me. And then that's a shortlisting process, I would say. Whatever your knowledge base is, I come on this platform and I do not sell anything. When people ask me, you're going on social media, you're going on those podcasts, what are you selling? My response is, I always sell my time and my expertise. Those are the two most important and credible commodities that I have, my time and my expertise. And if that can benefit you, please come. We'll sit over a cup of coffee, not during Ramadan hours, after that. And we'll sit, we'll chat, we'll see what your requirements are. And based on your requirements, I can probably provide you a tailor-made solution best suited for your needs.
Asim, what I actually gathered from your answer is the
It's a long
most
answer.
No, it's a very long answer, but it's very detailed answer, and thank you for that. The most important thing is to listen, to be a good listener, and to identify the needs of those clients in order to provide a solution. Unfortunately, nowadays, a lot of real estate professionals, they just want to pitch you and sell you whatever is off the shelf, whatever they have. Nobody wants to think of solutions. So this is very unique quality
A lot of
that
people
you have.
call me and they ask me, how are you doing? They're not interested in actually listening. And sometimes just to spite them, I say, I'm not doing well. Without even listening to this answer, they will start by selling me a property. Okay, I have this project to sell you. Tuck, 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 tuck. So listen to what I have to say. Maybe it's not a good time. And you asked me a question, how you're feeling. And I'm telling you, I'm not feeling great. And you completely disregard it. So this touch point would tell me that this person on the other side of the line has an agenda to sell me X, Y, Z, and that's the bottom line, and that's the extent of our engagement ever would be. May not be suitable for me. Unless you're genuinely interested in asking somebody how you're doing, and this is the project, people have to do their background information check. if you know and you're calling me that I have a property, then the first thing I would do is say, reach out to them and say, I know that you have a property, you bought it at this price, I have done my due diligence, I am in that area, I have a credible client who's willing to offer this. If you are interested now, let me know. If at a later stage, please do save my number and let me know. Rather than just picking a phone, I came to know that you have a property. Where? So, I don't know, but you have a property. It doesn't work anymore. And we receive in Dubai so many calls. And half of the things are lost in translation. So it's the demeanor, it's the manner in which you interact. So that's going back to my first point, that first impressions always are very important.
I agree.
And that's the foundation on which we base our things.
First impression is last impression, they say. Hi, my name is Yana. I do wealth management. Thank you very much for the invite, Asim and Bernie. It was amazing experience. I loved the insightful conversation, and I hope to repeat it again.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you everyone for watching. See you in the next episode.